The hum started subtly, a low, resonant frequency that vibrated more in the bone than in the ear. Elias first noticed it in the dead quiet of his apartment, 3 floors above the city's constant thrum. He was working late, staring at lines of code that refused to compile. He blamed the old building, faulty wiring, maybe the subway running beneath the avenue. But the hum followed him. It wasn't loud enough to be an annoyance, just persistent enough to be a constant companion. It was like the background noise of reality had been replaced by a single sustained musical note tuned just slightly sharp. Elias began searching. He checked every appliance, unplugged the fridge, turned off the router. The hum remained, emanating from everywhere and nowhere. He tried earplugs. They muffled the city, but the hum burrowed deeper, seeming to originate from inside his head. One Tuesday, while making coffee, he found a pattern. The hum seemed to spike when he focused intently on anything: a book, a screen, a memory. When his mind drifted, it softened. It was a cognitive frequency, a background process running only when his conscious mind was engaged. Fear began to settle in, cold and sticky. He wasn't hearing something external. He was hearing himself. Or perhaps something using him as an antenna. He started recording his days, voice notes detailing everything he did, every place he went, hoping to isolate the source. He listened back to the recordings, the faint, almost subsonic throb present in every file. The breakthrough came late one night, listening to a recording from the park where he ate lunch. He isolated the hum, boosting the signal until it sounded like an angry wasp trapped in a jar. Beneath the tone, there was structure, not language, but repetition, a rhythm. It sounded like breathing, slow, deep, and immense. Elias felt a profound, terrible realization dawn. This wasn't a sound his brain was producing. It was a signal his brain was receiving. He wasn't the source. He was the recipient of a broadcast meant for him alone. He went back to his code, the project he'd been struggling with for months. It was complex AI optimization. Suddenly, the solution was blindingly clear. The logic flowed, smooth and perfect. The hum intensified slightly, almost like a soft approval. He fixed the code in under an hour. The next day, he tried an experiment. He deliberately forced himself to think about nonsensical things. The texture of moss, the smell of rain on hot asphalt, the color of silence. The hum faded, returning to the barely perceptible background throb. He realized the signal wasn't punishing him, it was guiding him. It was a highly personalized, subconscious instruction system, activating only when he worked on complex tasks. The twist wasn't that he was hearing a noise. The twist was that he had spent his entire life deaf to the operating manual wired directly into his skull, waiting for the programmer to finally boot up the diagnostic sequence. He finished his project, uploaded the optimized AI, and leaned back in his chair, exhausted but exhilarated. The hum settled into a steady, almost comforting baseline. He had been given an upgrade. But who had installed the update, and what would the next patch require? He closed his eyes, waiting for the next directive, the sound of the machine humming quietly within the confines of his own mind. If this file resonated within your own cognitive pathways, if you felt the subtle shift in frequency as the story ended, then send a positive surge our way. A good like helps us tune the signal. Remember, a new file opens every day in the MindGlitch archives.